Here we are again, diving deep into the abyss that is human nature. As many of us are aware, violence has always been a part of human expression, and violent men have been glorified all throughout history. Throughout recent years, the glorification of violence has reached its peak representation through film, an absolute way of experiencing not only the acts of violence, but the thoughts behind them. Film is one of the most important aspects of human creativity in the last century. It allows for in-depth storytelling as well as grasping visuals that blend together to create an overall image of what it means to be human. Most films do this by documenting real-life events, showing us real-life emotions, or creating imaginary worlds that depict human creativity. So what are the effects of this? Well, what you get is a starved audience of regular, everyday people who live sheltered lives. Safe lives, yes, but to many, boring lives. This is why if you browse through your film catalog, you'll see about 90% of them contain violence. It's only 60% for TV shows, but is that really any better? Out of all that violence, most of it can be justified. But there is violence out there that has no reason. A kind of violence that comes from a primal state of mind, yet it feels alien to us now. That being murder. Film has always tried to capture the criminal mind in order to monetize and profit from these depraved murderers. The American culture has always had a deep connection to crime and serial killing. One film in particular that adds to this trend is M. Night Shyamalan's Trap, a simple film about a killer who attempts to evade pursuit during a concert he attends with his daughter. Now let's dive deeper into what this film says about American culture. The film has yet to be released, but thanks to years of criminal profiling, we can attempt to understand what kind of character Cooper is, and perhaps understand further the American perspective. A majority of serial killers tend to be outcasts, while Cooper has a daughter and seems to be very expressive. This on its own is very dangerous due to his ability to blend in with those around him. Another clue on his personality is when we see his expression on his face when he views his victim through his phone. This shows us his sadistic side, and the fact that his victim is tied down and has no apparent marks or bruises shows us that our killer is interested in more than just the kill, but the process as well. These kind of killers tend to be more dangerous and harder to catch because their methods are organized and well executed, something comparable to the Zodiac, the only difference being less ciphers and more blood. If you prefer something fiction to get a better grasp at what kind of method killers there are, just turn your attention towards the Bay Harbor Butcher himself, Dexter Morgan. It wouldn't be too hard to find similarities between these two. The way their awkward expressions seem to drop once they fall out of view of those around them, or how their quick thinking allows for a quick reaction to an ever-changing environment. You also wouldn't be wrong for speculating that Cooper has military backgrounds that allow him to overcome difficult situations. There are no places out of bound for an all-American monster like Cooper. They also refer to him as the Butcher, meaning of course that he disassembles his victims. But the fact that he is called the Butcher shows that many of his victims have been found. When comparing that to Dexter, who attempted to hide his victims, it may seem like Cooper is more careless about his disposal, showing us a side of his ego that you might not be able to see without these fine details. Whether it be narcissism or attention-seeking, Cooper has a high sense of self that comes naturally to serial killers after successfully getting away with multiple murders. American culture is one of pride and success, so of course, there is nothing strange to that essence trickling down onto the depraved individuals that lurk among us. The stories of stoic cowboys and cynical detectives that once ran throughout American film culture like westerns or noir films have now been replaced by stories of depraved individuals that are left to themselves, isolated from society, and eager to share their suffering with those around them. Has Hollywood reached a new era, or are we now seeing the truth behind what the film culture is certain of representing? For now, nothing is certain, and all we can do is wait to see what kind of film M. Night Shyamalan will give us, to see what kind of violent man Cooper will be, and how his story represents the American culture as a whole.